Hello, Internet! This is Fanfiction, Contempt, the 9003 with your host, Sneaky Devil. We got Gray, we got Atin, we got Max, we got people in chat, and we also have a very interesting fic combination to cover tonight. It is a back-to-back fic wombo combo, if you will, because one is inspired by the other. So,
You didn't mention this off camera.
no, I didn't. I want to surprise you. Are you surprised?
More angry and disappointed than surprised.
Now, Gray might recognize the crossover type. It is a Doom Kuro-Ino crossover.
I still don't know what that show is. So...
And I'm going to explain it now. So Kuro-Ino is Black Dog. And it is it's a hentai about a mercenary company that was sent onto the front lines to defeat the big bad, and they defeated the big bad. And then they're like, wait a second, we defeated the big bad, that means we're the strongest around. Oh, we're just gonna declare war on everyone. And they did, and then they won.
See.
And the premise of the story from that is that they basically just go on a sexual rampage throughout the country.
I'm gonna be honest.
Which is why it's a hentai story.
I'm gonna be honest. Considering fanfiction's terms of service, I'm honestly shocked that this has its own section.
Yes, that is.
Someone should go point that out to the mods.
Yes.
Oh,
Creations has a question, and I'm trying to figure out why he's asking that question, because I'll be honest, people have stolen pins out of my office because they could. There are very few things people aren't willing to take, petty or not.
Underplayed Creations actually asks a relevant question, not to this story, but one that all three of us have the capacity to answer. Max as a student studying engineering, Atin because of his job and his living arrangement, and me because of my country.
I want to back up. First off, I'm no longer a student. Second, my dad, I've grown up in a family where my dad was HVAC and construction, so trust me, at a construction site, people will take the copper if you don't properly seal it up somewhere.
He asks, do people steal copper and other things from construction sites? Boy, there is so much good loot at a construction site.
Yeah, like...
I once saw a person take a tool bag from a construction site in use and just walk out.
And you might be thinking, tools, is that really that valuable? Yeah, tools.
If you get a full tool bag, that's probably
at $5,000 minimum.
No.
I was gonna go more 2 or 3.
No,
it depends on the
California. It is.
It depends on the job
site and the tools that, like, did you get a tool bag from, say, did you grab the tool bag from, say, one of the HVAC guys? Okay, well, that's probably no more than $1,000 with the bag's cost included. Did you get that from a painter? Probably about $500, maybe.
It was a contractor.
I'm not real sure. All I know is that the painters tend to be the dickheads on the site that keep holding people up, and the electricians are really bad about it.
Oh, you get an electrician's tool bag.
An electrician in modern times is going to have so many electronic tools and digital scales that they're going to need for measuring shit, on top of basic pliers, wires, so on and so forth.
Yeah.
So, well, like, you get an electrician's bag, I'm going to be impressed, because usually those tool bags that have the really expensive stuff are clipped on them, both for HVAC and electricians.
Hammer and wrenches, it really depends. I mean, it's not going to be too valuable, maybe...
Those are super common, so if you're taking those, it's because you don't want to shell out $50.
More or less, yeah. Like, sometimes you'll get, like, an uncommon wrench.
Why are
that's
you
difficult to find. He's asking specifically because of the recent news with the fellow who was jogging 76 miles away from his home and happened to, on multiple occasions, visit a construction site in the middle of the night.
This didn't take place in my state, did it?
Yes, it did.
It did.
Oh, no, you're full of shit and you're spouting actual misinformation.
Oh, I am.
The dude... Yeah, you are. The dude lived within the area, and people go on construction sites all the time and don't take anything. People tend to be curious about,
Yeah.
like, house construction stuff. Okay, house construction sites, not a lot of valuable equipment. Commercial buildings, yes. House stuff, no. Second, it was proven the guy never took anything off-site. They claimed he had boots and, like, a weapon, and they proved all he had was running shoes. I don't know where you're getting your information from, Sneaky,
From Tim
but it's
Pool.
been proven false recently.
Okay. Well, I
Like, in the
haven't
last
watched today's
2
news,
weeks.
so
No,
don't crawl
Sneaky,
out
it's
my
in the last...
asshole.
It's in the last 1 to 2 weeks.
Regardless.
Okay, then you should go tell Tim Pool that he's wrong about everything.
That's hardly
Is that
surprising.
the guy that you shit talk every other day?
Oh, absolutely. I shit talk him because he's a leftist, not because he inaccurately reports things.
Okay, yeah, well, all the evidence that's been coming out in the last 2 weeks has been in the dude's favor, and those guys were just being dickheads running vigilante justice.
Oh,
Which
I
is
don't
illegal,
disagree on
regardless.
that end. No, I don't disagree on that end. That was definitely some vigilantism. But anyway, so the classic crossover when it comes to Kuroino is a murder crossover in which the characters, say Master Chief, the hunter from Bloodborne or Warframe or Doom, goes into Kuroino and starts murdering the cast because they're all rapists.
But Doomslayer doesn't care.
I am aware.
Most of them, I mean, okay,
Master Chief
maybe
Bloodborne, maybe.
Here's the thing.
Bloodborne wouldn't care.
Doomslayer.
Bloodborne would be like, no, I have to go deal with the things,
Well,
the things that you can't
no,
see that I can't. Because I'm crazy.
Usually the Bloodborne cross is a post-awakening.
Oh.
Yes.
For the Doomslayer, the Kuroino bad guys, A's rapists summon demons, so...
Okay. But, anyway, so this is called Infernal Dawn. It is said that karma bites everyone in the ass. And what better way for karmatic vengeance against a guy who treats women like dirt than to have the Empire destroyed by the Doomslayer?
That many ways? Have, like, Joan of Arc show up and kick his ass or something?
That would be pretty good, yeah.
Or Mordred, or...
Doomslayer has come, period. I really hope that was not intentional. And there will be justice. And,
like he cares.
Of course, the author starts off with a quote from the new Doom lore. In the first age, blah blah blah, Doomslayer is Doomslayer.
In the first stage, the Doomslayer was the Doomslayer. The end.
Inside the ruins of what once used to be the ancient, highly blah blah blah, Argentiner, lone male figure, magical circle that appeared in the middle of his place because reasons. And he was holding a weapon, glowing green energy. And then he was holding it like a dumbbell because it was heavy. His face couldn't be seen thanks to green visor on his gray helmet.
I'm sorry, what?
He has a green helmet, doesn't he?
His green visor on his gray helmet.
except it's a green helmet with a black visor.
Or an orange one, depending on picture. Or blue one, depending on if it's in game or not.
Already, I want to
I
punch the
think
person.
the author is colorblind.
Possibly.
Off to a great start. Can't even get the color scheme correct. However, if one took a closer look at his barely visible mouth, he was smirking. His face couldn't blah blah blah. He had been known by many titles given to him by his enemies: the Hellwalker, Unchained, Predator, the Scourge, Hell. However, he was most known as the unstoppable force that had brought down Hell, and its champion itself, that upon hearing or speaking his name, the demons shall tremble in fear. The Doom Slayer. Crawling on 4 in front of the Marine. Was the defeated form of the demonic being. This is some really weird sentence structure. This is some very weird sentence structure. I'm not even...
It's...
It was a massive, oversized brain with face and arms attached to quadruped mechanical legs with weapons now had been destroyed. The demon writhed in pain, screaming as if it begged for mercy from its opponent that soon would be its executioner. This demon was Spider Mastermind, a being that came to live using the UX scientist Olivia Pierce, who originally wanted to seek the godhood, interesting, only to be betrayed in the end as the sacrifice. A fitting end for the witch who held no regard towards human life indeed. Growing annoyed with the demon's continuous scream, the Doomslayer walked closer and shoved his weapon, the BFG 9000, into the cannon.
I'm sorry, you're using a BFG shot on someone who's screaming for mercy? That's a
no,
waste.
that's how canon. That's how Doom 2016 ends. Is you get into this cutscene where the Doomslayer shoves the BFG shot into the Spider Mastermind's mouth and blows up its head.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Bit of a waste still.
Yes. The demon's brain, blah blah blah, cannon, exploded cannon, gaping green plasma hole, cannon, Doomslayer slung his weapon. The Doomslayer then swung his weapon to clean it off from whatever nasty things that stained it.
Oh, blood? Probably blood. You did just shove it in somebody's face.
But
just going out on a limb here.
But it said stained it, not coated it.
Oh yeah.
Stained it.
Guess you better get the Mr. Clean out.
I wish you could get rid of stains by just shaking the object. Is he Brazilian, Pedro?
Also, I'm sorry, all I can think of now is Doomslayer killing a demon and having to get a Mr. Clean out because he got something on it.
We'll read the chapter, then we'll check the profile. Unless it's super important, then just tell me. Energy waves, corpse, absorbed into his suit, cleaned his suit off, fixed it up. He beat Hell again. They will never contain him. They cannot contain him. None can. He will destroy Hell and everything connected to Hell. He will rip and tear. Suddenly, cannon, 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 cannon. Cannon, 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 he's at Mars. Cannon, cannon, I'm sending you away. Cannon, cannon, I'm a 9-foot-1,000 robot. Blah, blah, blah. Cannon, cannon. Cannon, 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 cannon. Cannon, cannon, not a villain, my ass. Cannon, 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 cannon. Cannon. Cannon, cannon, cannon. Unknown realm. Doomslayer's body was limp, letting himself to be swayed by a wave of lights. There was something wrong with teleportation. It was supposed to immediately take him into somewhere or nowhere in blink. But instead, the Hellwalker found himself in a continuous stream of energy.
This sounds like an 8-year-old's attempt at writing.
Yeah.
If they knew big words.
And it wasn't only that. The Marine could see many different dimensions and universes he had never seen before. All of them flashed by his eyes at a fast rate, like a long presentation slide being fast forwarded. What? Look, I'm not hip with technology these days, but last I checked, PowerPoint slides weren't videos.
I mean, you can put a video file in a PowerPoint, sure.
Yeah. Oh boy, here comes the real... Oh god. He could see a world where sentient robots lived inside a giant robot, a world where a samurai was looking for his own time, a world where the galaxy was having a massive war against demons, elves, orcs, and humans, and a world where reality was a dream and everything was a deserted wasteland.
What?
So, can we be petty and complain about this author not properly putting this in multi-crossovers?
Yes.
No, you see, he puts that in there specifically so for the rest of his stories. Apparently, according to Pedro, this guy really likes writing crossovers.
Oh boy.
After a moment, that sensation finally stopped, and so did his body. If your body stopped, I'm pretty sure you'd be dead.
Oh. Yeah. 3 Kuro Inu crosses and 1 thing for Fallout and Konosuba.
Oh.
Of course. 3 stories about hentai and 1 story about softcore.
I think he might be a fan of Killing Dead, or Killing Floor. That's what it was. Killing Floor. Because Killing Dead, that's the knockoff we're going to make, Sneaky.
Yeah.
Alright, Sneaky, I'm going to go learn how to asset flip. Be back in 2 hours. But
2 hours? Come on, Max.
One of the summary ends with lots of dosh.
Oh.
Yeah. I think it's safe to say he's a Killing Floor fan. Quite possibly to his detriment as a writer.
That only works when you're writing for Killing Floor because it's a Killing Floor meme. Otherwise, you just sound like an edgy dumbass.
A really edgy dumbass.
I don't know what that is.
It's one of the sound bites that plays when you collect money from someone who's dropping money. Your character goes, lots of dosh here, because for some reason British people called money dosh.
For like 2 minutes, and then they realized how dumb it sounded, but at that point the damage was already done.
Yeah. Now Doomslayer was no more... Oh, time to offend Max and Atin. Just when he was about to find out, he heard a powerful booming voice, one that didn't sound belong.
Didn't sound belong, yes, I see. Continue.
To a human calling him. And the title he hadn't heard for a long time. I think my brain just took fucking damage.
That's probably just the alcohol.
Oh, no. No, Max. That's the alcohol. But let us restore some sanity.
No, Sneaky, that's not how that works. This is not the Call of Cthulhu.
That's what you think.
Beer required, sanity, -2, +3.
Okay. Lord of the Night Sentinels. The Doomslayer turned to the source of the voice and found a hooded lone figure in a white cloak with a gold outline whose face was shining so bright that it was hard to tell whether this individual was male or female. The hands intertwined under the cloak sleeves as the figure approached the Slayer. Despite having spent eons in hell fighting the army of demons, the Hell Walker still remembered who this figure was, and quickly kneeled like a knight before his lord to show his respect. This was none other than the Seraphim, the divine entity that gave him infinite power. He's just ignoring all of Doom lore. That's great.
Okay.
I mean, it's probably for the best.
Do I still have Bane Tube? I do indeed have the Bane Tube. The hero reads a most unsettling passage. Take 1d6 sanity damage. Yes, basically.
Your quest for redemption and revenge is pleasing the Lord.
New. That's a new.
The Dark Ones are cowering and fleeing at even the mention of your name. It seems it was a wise decision to give you the power.
The Slayer nodded, still kneeling. Indeed it was. Oh, God.
But now, you must halt your quest, as another world is crying for your help.
Why are you like this?
That caught the Slayer's attention from his personal thought, his singular thought. As he stood again to face the Seraphim with a hint of curiosity. What could it be? As long as it involved kicking up some demon asses, he's in.
How are we deep down to a 6-year-olds?
What? Kicking up asses?
I feel like this may be a Doomslayer who's doing something other than what we think he does.
I think this Doomslayer is the Doomslayer AU where he ate lots of glue.
Also possible.
Besides, he needs to vent his anger out for what the Tin Can did to him.
A depraved world, where an army of lust has risen, is in need of your specialties. These godless sinners have not just committed multiple atrocities, like rape and murder, but have also consorted with creatures and monsters of darkness. The prayers and cries of the innocents, The men and women of all ages have reached my ears, seeking for salvation.
And yeah, the author forgets the bold one section of caps for some apparent reason. Upon hearing that, the Slayer could feel his blood boiling, even though it was always boiling, because that's what blood does. He squeezed both hands into fists as the Seraphim continued.
While these creatures are weaker compared to the demons of hell that you have faced, they still won, raping and pillaging innocents, and turning this world into a living nightmare of lust and filth.
I mean, that's no way to talk about Earth. The Slayer cracked
his... just a trash heap.
The Slayer cracked his neck and knuckles. Ooh, he really couldn't wait to get his hands on those assholes.
No, he'd be like, okay, but demons.
You know, there is this thing called phrasing, and maybe saying, ooh, he couldn't wait to get his hands on those assholes in a hentai fic.
Yeah, not the greatest choice.
To be fair, the author may know exactly what they're doing.
That is giving the author way too much credit.
Also, I feel like... Pretty sure the Doomslayer's be like, wait, no, I'm not done fixing Earth, though. Like, send me to the other world, but I still have to finish killing every single demon in case they're connected to Daisy's death.
Exactly.
Like, isn't that kind of part of the thing? Like, oh, well, why did you go destroy Hell? Because they killed my only friend.
Indeed. Anyway, so...
Now, do what must be done. They are brutal, corrupted, and merciless.
The Marine took out his double-barreled shotgun, super shotgun for anyone unaware, and flipped it open before loading a pair of Argent-powered shells into the barrels, and locked it with a click sound. Tasty.
But you will be worse. You will bring light to the darker pits.
Went a little bit Kingdom Hearts there with that one.
I'm pretty sure he would make it even darker by staining the sun with blood.
You will tear the flesh of the unworthy and make your name.
By the way, listen, just a side note, I want a Kingdom Hearts Doom crossover where it's like, so what is he sees a heartless and is just like, I don't know what that is, but I'm pretty sure it's a demon because it took that man's heart. And so the final, he shows up and Xemnas is like, you are not the Keyblade Master. Shotgun.
I like how the fucking Seraphim just apparently just goes straight into, like, Borderlands bandit territory. You must tear the flesh and salt the wounds!
Went full ham. You don't go full ham.
I mean, hang on a second. It's been a minute, but I'm pretty sure Seraphims are most assuredly part of the host. You know, the group of angels that are like, if they show up, shit's about to go down.
Yes.
Duck and cover. Yeah, no, I'm not surprised the Seraphim would have jumped straight to that. I'm gonna be honest.
Fair enough.
I was gonna say, they were in fact the ones, the ones charged with the ripping and tearing.
Yeah, like, if they showed up, that was a problem. That's why when the dude showed up in front of a shepherd, it's like, whoa, no, hang on. We're not here to fuck shit up. Not today.
No, listen, we're not here to kill you today.
And make them be reminded. What kind of fucking sentence is that? You literally had the pacing going here, and then you're just like, hey, what if I just fucked it up entirely? Well, fucking good job, author. Make death a mercy to them! A portal.
I'm gonna be honest, that feels like Old English.
Yeah, but it's not
that's
written...
That's what that feels like. Because I've been trying to suffer through one of the earliest, like, written collections of King Arthurian legend. Oh my god, it gives me a headache, like, oh my god, I'm so glad English evolved past this, because this is bad. They didn't know what quotation marks were at the time.
Interesting.
Yeah, you should read it, Sneaky. It'll really,
Oh,
really
I've read Old English before. I don't want to. It was a mistake to do that. A portal gate then appeared next to the Doomslayer, where he could see his destination. It was a village from the medieval times, as evident by how the buildings looked. Duh.
Yes.
Yes, because there certainly aren't any medieval-looking buildings in, say, Germany or France or England.
Yes, the medieval buildings. You know, the ones that are the medieval buildings. Not totally different styles based on geography, time period, or country.
Is it a medieval or Arabic area? Is it a medieval Japanese area? Is it a medieval Chinese?
I do believe it is the medieval. You know, the medieval stuff.
Wait, is it the Evil Knievel medieval?
The Evil Knievel medieval, yes.
By the way, I'm so glad you understand that.
But what caught his attention was a view of a woman being cornered by a green-skinned humanoid beast. This must be an orc. They were drooling, licking their mouths as they stepped closer towards the terrified woman, who was obviously about to be raped.
Rip and tear!
Clearly.
Until it is done, the Doomslayer finished the phrase aloud as he jumped through the portal. The village of Hawkheaven. The village of Hawkheaven, Estosia. 1 year had passed since the Black Dog mercenary band, blah blah blah, canon stuff, blah blah, sex empire, blah blah, they raped all the women, blah blah blah. Today was the day where it all ended. It was the beginning of the end of the beginning of the end. Then blah blah blah, sex slave market, blah blah blah, orcs, blah blah blah, slapped by orc. Suck my dick, blah blah blah, come on, suck my dick, and then the sky turned red, and everyone looked at the red sky, and the sky was red, and they were like, wow, this is a red sky, and then suddenly, thunder boomed in the red sky, and everyone was like, oh my god, this is sorcery, and then, Doom OST, Gate of Doom started playing.
Really? Just... for the entire village? That's very strange. I wasn't aware they had sound systems in the medieval era, Sneaky.
I believe the Seraphim is doing it.
See. So he's that kind of human.
Anyway, so...
Filth of this world! Listen well and listen good! For too long you have forgotten the oath of knighthood.
By the way, remember, this is whoever's shouting this is shouting this to orcs. They're shouting that orcs have forgotten the oath of knighthood.
Gee, wonder why that would happen.
I mean, listen. I am down for orc knights. Like,
you have betrayed your kin. Rape and domination now rule this land, and so punishment is what I command. Your executor has come to reap your souls. That is not what the Doomslayer does at fucking all. There is nowhere to run.
I mean, didn't you know he takes souls on a regular basis?
He only takes demon souls. Specifically demon souls. Why is the Seraphim suddenly Scottish? Because fuck you.
Yeah.
Just want you all to know the most disheartening aspect about this entire story. Author's note. This chapter, up to chapter 3, is a version 2 made by casual fanfic writer number 23. This N-word did some hard work, so please follow him and praise him. He deserves it. So yeah, that was the first story.
Giblet, give me whacking stick.
Can I ask for death?
Madness Combat and Kuro Ino. That is
disturbing.
That's a combination. Does anyone else here know what Madness Combat is?
No.
No, that, gonna be honest, it sounds like it's meant to be like a hype fighting thing, but it's probably not.
Flash animations.
Oh.
It's a very old Flash animation.
Yeah, this looks like Height of Newgrounds era.
Oh, yes. It was so Height of Newgrounds era. There is something called Madness Day, where I would say up to 100-something animators sit down and actually work for months on animating a 2 to 5 minute short for Madness Day.
Why is Jesus an antagonist?
Because Jesus was shot in the second episode, and he came back, and then he was shot again, and then he came back again, and then he's trying to kill this dude who is literally genociding, and the dude keeps killing Jesus. It's actually a good series for the time period it came out in. It was actually a really good series. The fights were, for its time again, very well done for a Flash animation.
For the software and time period, it was good, which it gives its point.
Why does a Flash animation have a section on fanfiction.net? Because the Flash animation it was a cult hit. Why did it get a section before Fate Grand Order? Because it's existed since 2000. It's existed for about 20 years now.
Oof, yeah.
So, that's why it got a section before Fate Grand Order.
Suck it, Asu.
Who is even asking that?
What?
Why did it get a section for Fate Grand? Like,
Pedro.
The moment the words "Height of Newgrounds" left our mouths, that should have been
that. Like, yeah, that's that shit. Wait. Ruby. Madness Ruby crossover.
Lord no.
Also, the main antagonist is a clown, a murder clown. The series is weird, okay?
Jester?
I really should play through FF6 at some point.
I have to know. I have to know.
What do you have to know?
I have to know. Madness in Remnant. The Madness crew are thrown into the world of Remnant. Will they be able to settle down, or will they end up engaging acts of hyper-violence?
What?
I don't know.
Question?
What kind of question is that?
It's a question.
Let's
Suffer
see.
Brazilian.
Let's see if we can't actually get a good Crinkles introduction.
Sorry, what are we doing?
I'm trying to get a, oh yeah, his name's Tricky. Yeah. Tricky the Clown.
What is that? Oh boy.
Pain.
His by the way, Gray, this is why I mentioned you should get a stop sign. His main weapon was a stop sign, and he just beat people to death with it because he could.
I need 7 of those. Just whack and assault.
Yeah, it got excessive. It got weird. Oh god. Oh, so it actually finally released it. Nexus actually released finally. Well then. Okay. Yeah.
I like that you say finally released, and all I could think is I'm sure it finally released 4 years ago, 2 years after you stopped caring.
Highly likely, yes. But anyway, so yeah, this is a good picture of Tricky the Clown.
That's
But yeah, the Madness combat. Goddamn, that brings back some fucking memories. Holy shit. Yeah, boomer things, indeed. Anyway, so Nexus asked us, will we talk about Lulu's shitfic again? Because he had to leave just before you got into the meat of the critique of his story last time. I mean, what else do you want us to say about it? It's just the story is built upon a stupid premise. It was worded poorly. The entire thing is questionable at best. He introduced some fanon into it that was meh at best. And he, he had extremely disproportionate reactions from some people. Like, oh man, this kid saw me steal $40 of items. Time to go murder him in front of heroes. Because that solves his problem.
This guy saw me lift, like, a DVD case. Clearly, I have to murder him.
Yeah, it's...
Gotta do it. It's the
it
law.
was exceedingly disproportionate and really weird. And the fact that he just... This is the thing, is that he is saying that Izuku is not summoning the heroes, except he is. Like, this is out of his own mouth, is that Izuku isn't summoning the heroes, they're being summoned in Chaldea, and then being sent into Izuku's world. That is direct from the author. That Izuku is not the one responsible for summoning them.
So what, is Roman just sitting in the control room going, I feel sorry for this kid?
I don't know. But according to him, the reason why their heroes are at full power Chaldea strength is because they're being summoned in Chaldea and then being sent to Izuku, which makes no fucking sense to start with.
And the only way I can forgive that is if all of Hero Academia is just a singularity, but they couldn't get Ritsuka in there for some reason yet.
That would be something, alright, wouldn't it?
Like, it's like, so why are you being sent to me? Oh, well, we needed a good stand-in, and you had the highest compatibility in the immediate vicinity.
It's not even that, though, because what he says in the story is he has the servants refer to Izuku as master, and they act like Izuku is the one that summoned them. Except, according to Lupine, outside of the story, as a semi-spoiler thing, Izuku isn't the one summoning them. No one's summoning them in Izuku's world. They're being sent there by Chaldea.
No, I completely understand why you're confused.
And somehow being bound to Izuku. But, like, this is what I'm saying, right? Like, I say it's a fusion world. He's like, no, it's not a fusion world. It's just, you know, a crossover. Except that Izuku has magical crests and apparently has the mana capacity to support a servant outside of a Grail War. And they're also sending servants across dimensions. For
Hearing it
reason.
again makes my head hurt.
But it's not a world fusion, guys. It's not a world fusion, even though Izuku is the only one that has all of the required biological parts to summon and maintain servants. But he doesn't.
That's fine.
It's just...
I now have a headache. Thank you.
no problem.
That's the point of this show.
Yeah, it is excessively complicated and stupidly complicated. It doesn't even make sense as to why any of that's going on. I can't even come up with a reason why it would be going on. And as Max said, if you were trying to like call this some sort of singularity thing, yes.
Well, okay. You could either
It's trademark Lulu.
Well,
Yes.
it would be best to make it a singularity because that's like, oh, they're summoned here and then sent there. The other option would be to make it a lost spell, but that gets into its own weird, stupid shit. So.
Yeah.
Clearly, the only way to justify it is singularity, which, right from the get-go, is a whole lot of issues. Because Grand Order can't fucking cross over with anything.
Yeah, because of its inherent issues.
Grand Order can, but
And hat.
it become well.
It naturally crosses over with itself,
Grand
which...
Order, the Fate series can cross over with literally anything with the correct setup. Fate Grand Order as a mobile game considers crossing over with its own franchise to be a crossover for some reason.
That's silly. But
yeah, no, that's how the events go. Oh, hey guys, we're having our first crossover event. Oh, cool. What's it with? Prisma Ilia. That's Fate.
But
I think they did that with Zero first, and then it became.
Oh yeah, Zero, whatever the first crossover event was, it was bullshit.
The thing is that
Zero Sinners collide, and just now Apocrypha.
It's similar to like say Familiar of Zero and Worm, in that there is the crossover in where like a character or certain powers cross over. There's the crossover where like plot elements cross over, and then there's the world fusion.
Yeah.
And honestly, if Lupine had just been like, Izuku's quirk was never quite understood. Something about energy it produced or something. And then when he had his first, canon encounter where he had a heroic moment, something inside him clicked and he was able to connect to the Throne of Heroes because Arthur Handwave something energy, and could then install heroes from the Throne of Heroes, similar to like Prisma Ilia. And If he had just done that, I honestly would be less aggravated at him for it.
The install is so much easier to work with. Yes, even if
and
you
then just
have,
call the story Heroic Spirit.
Yes. Even if you have the damn thing set up like I've seen some DXD crossover because I was bored.
Yeah.
You can have it to where for some reason the class card you get it has the personality or a shade inside you for some reason.
Mm-hmm.
I don't fucking know.
I mean, you could also do a thing sort of like, yeah, I know what story you're talking about, but you could also do a thing sort of like where the last hero you called upon, lingers, and you can ask them for help, questions, and advice, or alternatively, it's a roulette, and you don't know what hero you get, and basically just make like a D200 table and just roll the dice. Or you can just have degrees of install where you can call upon your energy and be like, I need someone fast, and then some heroes raise their hands basically.
There's the includer and the install. Is what you get.
Yeah, and then you can go by degrees and go farther and farther, and it's just like there's so many ways to do it right, actually, that aren't aggravating as fuck, and somehow Lupine has chosen the worst fucking way possible?
He's British.
Yeah.
Yeah, apparently British equals retarded, except in the case of Shadow. But he's also Scottish, so...
He's the anti-British. But
at least he's not Welsh.
But it's just it hurts. Honestly, it hurts. And I think I know the exact reason why he didn't do the whole install include roulette wheel connect to Throne of Heroes ship. And we all know the reason. He didn't want to be called JDF. He didn't want his story to be related to Essence of Silver and Steel.
Yeah. So even more retarded.
So he throws away a genuinely good concept because someone else did it poorly. Yeah, sounds like Lulu. There. Are you happy now, Moth? I have described my issues with the story. Anyway, so this is the inspired by a story that I was talking about at the start of this podcast. The Doom Kuro-ino Part 2 story. Doom Pure Infernal. Dogia has suffered from a long war between Celestine and Olga. After a millennium of fighting, these three powerful individuals have made it into magical continent, wielding weapons of mass destruction. The Hellwalker, Drifter, and Angel of Death have arrived. Crossover with various Doom mods and Kuro-ino. Enriqueos D8 here, back with another fanfic for y'all. This time it's a crossover between the well-known popular FPS franchise known as Doom and the hentai series called Kuro-ino. Like many others before me, I was inspired by Night Unfurls, as well as Infernal Dawn by Quentin, the guy we just read. This crossover will use
Really? That piece of crap inspired somebody?
Yes. This crossover will use various Doom mods that I won't name, and the original game with a mix of 2016 game in it too. So expect author's notes explaining everything in the end. That's right, guys. I'll be including a whole lot of elements that you know nothing about, so be sure to read the author's notes while I explain them all in the author's notes instead of the story where you're supposed to explain the story.
All right.
Okay then.
Good knows.
I have cancer now. Well, that's unfortunate. You should get some radiation treatment. The orc's head fell from its neck in a splash of red gore and yellow mucus, its killer standing a few paces away. The man stood tall and was well built, standing at 7 feet and 4 inches tall. The man wore a dark green armored vest, alternatively a chest plate, as they called it in this land, over a tight-fitting black shirt. He had damaged dark silver gauntlets with brown trimmings on each hand. He wore multiple gauntlets on each hand.
I see. Max, we have found the true Punch Man.
Both having full cover black gloves underneath the multiple gauntlets, underneath them, reaching up to his elbows. What? These were covered in dried blood and recent blood. His leg wear consisted of brown cargo pants.
What? Dried blood and recent blood? Those are the...
Yes. And damaged is the combo cargo pants, green padding on his cargo pants, and silver padding on his non-cargo pants. Also covered in blood, with combat boots, also covered in blood.
Wait, let me guess. They're also covered in blood.
Yes. Lightly crunching the grass beneath him. His belt consisted of pouches.
As opposed to consisting of blueberry bushes?
I mean, I'm just curious how he managed to get a belt made out of multiple pouches.
He went to Batman's tailor.
So I went to Alfred the Magical Butler.
Yes, yes. And he got a belt made out of pouches. Instead of just putting pouches on his belt, he got his whole belt made out of them. For extra
Seems
pouching.
legit.
And the inner rims of each pouch belt glowed blue. And he also wore a light gray helmet and glass covering the area of the eyes being blue. It covered every part of his head and left his neck exposed if it wasn't for the vest's high collars shielding his head and neck.
This physically hurts to read.
Oh, join the fucking club, Gov.
I'm taking sanity damage. I'm gonna rectify that.
No, Sneaky, remember, it doesn't fix it. It just makes you forget you've taken sanity damage. Doesn't actually fix it.
That sounds like I fixed it. In his right hand was a large blocky weapon, a machine gun, a dull tan color with dark brown hexagon box inserted beneath it.
What?
Alongside a dull tan box, a multi-shot micro missile launcher just to the left side of the weapon. Just Just tell us it's the machine gun with the missile launcher attachment. What is this fucking prose? Like, either you clicked on this story because you know Doom, or you clicked on this story because you know Doom! Why?
Going to admit to clicking on this story because of Kuroino.
Because he wanted to see people get ripped and tear.
Like, why the hell are you describing to us
It makes sense for a hunter because it's a player character. It does not make sense for the Doom guy or whatever.
Yeah, or whoever the fuck this is, apparently, because apparently this guy is wearing cargo shorts and a vest with his helmet on.
Oh, I think it's the classic Doom outfit. But, like, the visor color's all wrong.
When isn't something fucking wrong?
Like this?
I thought... No, I'm sorry.
That's not a vest.
Then I guess it's the one above... What's the one standing next to the chief? Is that Doom? That's not 2016
That's
Doom.
2016.
Oh, that is?
Yeah, that's 2016.
But that's not even cargo pants.
This is the classic Doom.
Right.
Classic Doom right here. That's not a vest. That's a chest plate.
With a really dumb helmet. Also, for some reason, occasionally an ab gap.
Those aren't cargo shorts.
But, like, it's certainly not the 20... Like, I've got nothing.
I don't know. Fallout 4 Creation Club. Thanks, Fallout 4. Doom Guy Deviant Art cosplay. That is.
Oh, the days of looking at deviant art for cosplay.
That is cosplay. That is an attempt at cosplay.
I can't say that effort was put in, but it was attempted.
There was an attempt. That's actually really good cosplay, comparatively.
Yes. There's also several jokes in there about what you do to the Cockademon, but...
Yes. Yes. The man killed a bunch of people. It had been a year since the Doomslayer arrived in Estosia.
I'm sorry, it's been a year and he hasn't killed them all yet.
And he's still trying to kill off all the orcs.
Fucking slow mover, eh?
And everyone called him the Gore Knight because he was always covered in blood. Okay. And everyone was just happy that he was mad at orcs and not trying to kill humans. Yes. Okay. You know what? No, we're just gonna keep going. We're just gonna keep going. Pretend that we're just chug on, chug along, chug along, chug along.
Oh, you're chugging all right.
How long is this chapter?
I'm just gonna keep on checking in, checking in, checking. Shots, 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 shots. This chapter's too long. What? What is this bottom line? What?
I think this is where the mod comes in.
What? And so the Doomslayer went over to his home, and he went inside his home, and then he went inside a hatch underneath his home, and he climbed down the ladders where his companions were. One was a short girl of 5 feet tall. Hey, she's taller than Atin. Wearing a white blouse.
Excuse me?
She's 5'6", which isn't all that short for a woman. So,
How tall do you think I am?
4'11".
who the fuck do you know that's 4'11"?
Lulu.
Doesn't matter.
Yeah, Lupine Horror is.
I don't know any girls that are 4'11".
Lulu's a trap, so he counts as both female and male in this regard.
Unless you open up the trap and find out what Scrodinger's dick looks like.
But then it just becomes a dick.
Exactly.
Sneaky, what was it Rob always said? Or that when
It's
we
not
all like
gay
that's
to
it?
suck dick is what he said, yeah.
Yes, that was it.
Yeah.
He just kept digging that hole.
She wears red suspenders with green sneakers and bandages. Like, they've been living here for a year, doing hardcore combat, and she still has workable sneakers?
Those are some
Magic!
solid sneakers.
Yeah, apparently. And she had bandages all over his hands that left her fingers exposed. With short hair with a white patch of hair over her left hair eye that was slightly ruffled with a gold headband.
Honey, I'm home.
Her chocolate brown eyes complemented her thin frame and light skin tone. Also, she wore a bow tie.
Okay.
What?
Bow ties only go with a motherfucking tuxedo.
Pretty much, actually. We're just done. No, we're done. No. Done.
Throw it in the towel.
Well, I don't.
It just gets worse.
It just can't, no.
Yeah. Oh, what's that? We're ending the show 50 minutes early?
No. So, just think of questions you can ask me right now, because I am willing to talk about anything but this shit right now. So yeah, just churn up some questions. And yes, Lupine is actually a real life trap. He did take stripper pole dancing. He does have long hair. He has dresses. He uses makeup. Also, his voice sounds squeaky. So, yes, he is a trap
And
without trying to be.
And he's British.
I was just say, doesn't really change anything about what I think about him. I just think his fanfiction shit. That hasn't changed.
I would be worried if the fact that he is a trap changed your opinion on his fanfiction?
I was
That would
speaking more about the individual. As in, the only thing I think about him is that his fanfiction is shit.
Oh, I see. You probably should have specified that.
Yes, that's why I did that just now.
Yes. But yeah, so just toss some questions out. I'm willing to answer any plot ideas, why X thing works, why Y thing doesn't work, etc., etc. Just
really, just anything that's not this.
anything that's not this. Yeah, pretty much. Anything that I can rant about that's not this. Do Witch's Apprentice. Fine.
Oh no.
Boy. Alright, how poorly is this gonna go?
Well,
it's Medea plus Taylor. You figure it
out.
Fate Stay Night Worm crossover. Taylor Hebert betrayed by the one she trusted and the system that was supposed to protect her. It's a story that has been heard before and will be heard in the future. She calls for help and is heard far beyond the confines of the simple school. That call goes out beyond time and space, where legends lie. Beware Brockton Bay. Beware the witch of betrayal.
Yay, I already hate it because it's only 2,500 words.
Thanks, I hate it.
At least it's a relatively short first chapter.
Small blessings.
Yeah. Alright. It was quiet on the beach near Corinth, the waves lapping the shores as the sky turned brilliant shades of gold and orange as the sun. Holy fucking shit, okay! Okay, deep breath. Whew. It was quiet on the beach near Corinth, the waves lapping at the shores as the sky turned to brilliant shades of gold and orange as the sun set against the distant horizon. A trireme sat beached on the shore. Sailors and...
This?
Huh?
Oh. I'm sorry, I'm reading ahead of you, and he's picking an interesting spot to start this story.
Okay, blah 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 blah, trireme blah blah. Sailors loose, captain nearby, piece driftwood, load supplies, dressing at the woman next to them. Dressed in a purple, blacks, gold shawl. Nike on how long till the ship is ready to leave. Tugging on the collar. The men are finished, blah blah blah. We can set sail for Thebes. She'll only take a day to get there. Nodding, she turned back to watch the sailors, blah blah blah. Everyone's lives were spared because the Dragonbone warriors couldn't sail for blah blah blah. Jason could never find out where she went lest he hunt her across all of Greece. Ear shifted, glancing at the captain. As the voice grew louder, young girl, he did not move. A small frown came over her face. She made a coughing noise to grab his attention. He jumped and turned. Are you going to deal with that? He just gave her a confused look as he turned to look over his shoulder and all around, even as the voice started to grow more defined. No words were able to be understood, but the tone was obvious despite that, desperate and panicked. To deal with what, Your Grace? She pursed her lips and looked at him for a few moments. He really didn't hear that, did he? Why is that not in thought text? That was odd, and odd meant things not going to plan. Taking her staff into her hand as opposed into her...
I don't know.
She
Left
smoothly
armpit?
rose, and she smoothly rose to... She smoothly rose to stand.
Okay.
Yes, that's a correct statement.
Correct, but it feels weird.
And made a dismissive
Like, I mean,
gesture.
I would say this is gonna sound weird, but in this case, more words would actually be better. Like, she smoothly rose to a standing position, or she smoothly stood up, or
smoothly stood up, yeah. I want all the supplies to be on the ship, blah, blah, blah. And take a breath, blah, blah, blah. Voice, let me out, help me, let me out. Crashed up the dune, she looked around, trying to find the screaming. Blah, 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 sense of the girl was growing weaker, blah, blah, spirit, blah, 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 magic circuits, blah, blah, blah. So, source of the voice, distortion in the air, you should all go back to the ship. Whirling her staff directly at the woman that appeared behind her. Despite the glowing purple circle of runes floating around the head, the completely mundane woman simply stared at her. Long brown wavy locks, clean white dress and sandals, completely and utterly mundane, if not for the sheer weight of presence, greater than Aphrodite. It was Alea. Alea, what does the will of humanity stand before me now for? Her glare remained strong, despite knowing that any second could be the last she ever breathed. If Alea wanted her death, she would have dispatched a counter-guardian. If this was some task she commanded of her, then she would have simply spoken directly into her mind. That's bringing a new term of phrase of picking someone's brain.
do you think you're funny?
I think I'm hilarious.
At least that makes one person.
Thank you.
He's amusing.
Amusingly drunk, maybe.
It's like maple.
Fun to watch him suffer.
To tell you to go back to the ship. Your place is here in the throne of heroes. That girl does not need your help. She froze as she heard those monotone words. The spell ignited at the end of her staff, simply vanishing as her concentration was broken. What in the world? Here in the throne of heroes? This is a beach near Corinth, not the place of legends. Do not fool with me, Alea. The growl escaped her throat even as the spell reignited at the end of her staff, even as Alea tilted her head. Stared at her. Yes and no. This is a beach near Corinth, but not truly. This is your memory, your mind. You know that this is an entirely true possibility. The monotone caused her to grind her teeth even as her mind went whirling. She knew the throne of heroes was most likely not a physical place, but an idea that she could already be dead. Alea wouldn't lie. Alea would have no reason to lie. Pulling her staff up and letting the spell die, Alea would have no reason to lie. Really, will of humanity, humans are notorious liars. The will of humanity would never lie.
Why would it lie? It's got nothing to gain. I mean, except tricking you.
Yeah, no, if lying to you is all it took to save humanity, do it in a heartbeat.
Big brain! And this, ladies and gentlemen, is what happens when you try to write characters that are smarter than you.
Or try to write a fucking concept.
Mm-hmm. And this might have been asked before, but how much of a series lore should be respected and how much should be tossed out? Yeah, I'll get to that right after this prologue of a chapter. That's actually a good way to end this episode. Blah 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 blah. She glared at humanity's unconscious manifestation, the distortion. She said she would stay in the Throne of Heroes, meaning that entering the portal would free her from the Throne of Heroes. Oh yes, that is what you want to tell people who are in the Throne of Heroes. All those heroes that are known for doing stupid, impossible feats. Do not go through that portal. You will leave the Throne of Heroes. So what you're saying is that I won't be dead anymore.
You go away.
I wonder how quickly do you think Emiya would open that door if he heard that?
Yeet!
Like, Emiya would be like, I can't actually open this door fast enough. I can't yeet myself fast enough through this doorway.
Fucking
Literally
shoot.
Oh
no, Max. He would shoot a Calbog. Huh?
Or like
he would shoot a Calbog 2 at his feet. Literally double bird Alea as he's flying through the portal.
Just rocket jump out of there.
Well, and then it's like Iskandar. If you go through that portal, you'll enter an unknown let. Wait a minute.
Wait, hold on.
I've said too much. Oh dear.
Literally, the idea of going anywhere would be saying too much for a man known as Alexander the Great.
Where does that portal lead? Nowhere. Absolutely nowhere. I feel like you're lying to me.
It leads back here. It's a loop. So I can conquer myself? Ah, yes, I will go through the portal. Wait, fuck, shit.
Damn it. Now the
Yes,
question is,
I can see the Onion article now. Man achieves light speed, flipping off will of humanity. Indeed.
I would say
Thank you, Greg.
Fuck you, Greg. I would say the real question is how would Gil react to being told he could go somewhere else and yeet the Throne of Heroes?
To be honest, I think Gil can do that anyway.
You can do it anyway as a caster or an archer.
Yeah, actually, yeah, his caster form would probably just be like, hey, I'm going out, be back in 2 weeks, I'll get milk.
I'm going out! What do you mean you're going out? I'm bored here. You can't leave.
Where the fuck
Portal
you go?
prototype! Wait, what the fuck?
Yeah. You could say you'll stop him. Like, you might be able to actually get him to stay there. If, like, I will send the counter guard. I will send the counter force to get you.
I think that would stop Gil. I think Gil would be like, that'll make vacation interesting.
Some light exercise.
I am the king of all kings. Such a thing. Anyway.
And besides, let's be real.
If
the Counter Guardians are anything like Emiya, at least half of them would be like, "Ah, hell no."
Well, no,
Some of them are special cases like Emiya where they took a contract. Others, I think, were just straight up like phantasmal beast level.
Yeah,
stuff.
other things are similar to basically the Beasts of Gaia, except they're for pro-human, sort of.
Yeah, they're Elia's creation instead.
But just saying, the reaction to a counter guardian from Gil is typically along the lines of "I am the king of kings," To say there is such a force that could counter me is ridiculous.
Laughable.
Yeah. I am the will of humanity, something, something, something.
Also, by the way, crossover idea. The Throne of Heroes, for its own amusement, teaches Gil modern slang.
Oh.
So, like Hank the protag did with Mary.
Kind of.
All I'm saying is, Urban Dictionary becomes a mandatory upload to all heroes during summoning.
Oh god, that'd be great.
Oh,
damn, Medea! That bitch a thought!
I'm sorry. All I can think of now is Gilgamesh going, hold on. You're not so bad, Iskandar. You're worthy of my yeet cannon.
About to yeet you so hard. Throwing out slang even the mages don't know. All the mages be like, what the fuck is going on?
The mages are the only one that don't get the upload.
Well, the mages never get the upload.
Yes, I'm aware.
Okay.
Mages are 100 years too late.
Oh god. All I can think about now is Mordred with modern slang.
Iskandar! What? Lancelot said he'll dab on you! That motherfucker! I'm about to T-pose in his general direction!
Men T-pose maliciously.
You know Iskandar would take to the T-pose to assert dominance meme so well.
Oh god, yes. Oh
Great.
god, Max.
Now I have that mental image of fucking Waver in a corner crying with Iskandar just looming over him T-posing.
All part of his plan to help Waver grow as a person. Like, you must do it with me, boy.
Do it with me, boy! Assert your dominance!
Oh god, Max. Think about poor Jean getting summoned and just a look of horror is permanently etched on her face because she had to learn the contents of Urban Dictionary.
Oh god.
Just you hear constant low murmuring. Why would people do that?
Imagine Emiya's reaction to this entire thing.
So that's what the internet turned into.
Oh, new words.
So this is what those servants meant.
Oh,
great. Now all I can imagine from fucking Saber. I'm talking Saber. Saber. Shiro, as the kids these days say, yeet, Excalibur. Boom.
I could just picture Shiro being like, "Oh my god, please stop talking."
No, hang on. Let's be fair here. She would just rename the Noble Phantasm to Excaliyeet. Oh.
Don't make me use Excaliyeet on you. Yeet Taliber. There we go. That's even better. Yeet
Thank you, Or. By the way, Max, this is the evil blade that yeeted my father.
Oh, and now Emiya will forever have to record a blade called Yeet Caliber into his mind.
No.
But counter.
They did, God, who was it? The people behind UBW verse. They did a pretty good job of doing that with 2006 slang.
Yeah.
But now I really want them to have just jumped straight ahead to like, oh yeah, that's weird. I have slang from like 2019. That's weird.
Indeed. But anyway, back to this story.
Yeah, yeah, that's what we're calling it, right?
I think I shall not go back to the ship. You should go back to the ship. I can't guarantee you'll return to the Throne of Heroes. She's like, yeah, but, well, fuck that. I don't want to live in a loop. And so she got closer to the distortion, and then she walked through the distortion, and it was painful, and now she has a body again, and she looks around.
Has a bit.
And then she's like, this is stuff. Also, apparently, she now knows what everything is. Because she's just like, oh yeah, these are lockers. And used feminine products, because...
Why does she know what all of that is suddenly?
Because reason.
Leaving the Throne of Heroes means mages get the upload.
What?
Apparently she just knows everything now.
It's the opposite. When a hero leaves the Throne of Heroes, all mages get the upload instead.
Oh,
Jesus.
that...
I've been using the VCR wrong the whole time!
Why are there so many cat videos?
No, oh my god, can you imagine that? Like, Merlin pops out and is like, the internet is the greatest thing ever. I know it's a worldwide web of porn. God damn it, Merlin.
He already does that, though.
Yeah, no, he's catfishing the entire world. Did you forget about that?
Wait, what do you mean he's catfishing
Magi
the world?
Mary.
Okay, so there's an internet idol in Fate Go called Magi Mari, and it's just Merlin chilling from the Tower of Avalon, shitposting.
I see.
Are you kidding me?
That's the actual story behind that.
True.
I see.
That's
now,
the
from what I
entire
understand...
So Merlin's a trap?
Merlin's
catfishing.
Merlin.
Okay, but... Now all I see is the Avenue Q song. The Internet's for Porn by Avenue Q.
Yes.
Oh, yes.
Where Rin takes the place of the Internet's, for studying, for knowledge and whatnot, and Merlin's just like, nope, it's for porn.
I can use the internet to communicate with other mages. Nope, porn.
Porn.
Emmy is just in the corner like, he's right,
Ready, normal people? Zelrich pops out. Nobody thinks you're normal. Slowly slides back in.
Cat videos.
By the way, if there's any fake character that absolutely should not have the internet, it's Zelrich.
Except he does, because he's actually...
I'm aware.
Technically, he has his own version of the internet.
He has the Zelnet. Where he shitposts to himself.
Do you suppose there's a world where he actually markets and sells that?
Probably.
Probably.
By the way, I kind of want to see what Gilgamesh would do with Twitter.
I have declared war on all current states.
Okay.
I am the world's true king.
All right.
Enter.
He would either take to it super well, or he would just stop caring after the first tweet.
I feel like with how his personality is portrayed in later forms of Gilgamesh, such as from Unlimited Blade Works, with the whole arrogance angle.
Well, yeah, with a corrupted version of him.
Yes.
Yeah.
I feel like he would be Trump tier, except
he'd carry out whatever he says.
Except he would actually do.
Yeah, he's not bound by the checks and balance system.
So when he's
Listen
like,
here, you little shit.
I have declared war on all of Mesopotamia, I shall retake my lands. And then people are like favoriting it and retweeting it like, Lamal, look at this dude. And his next follow-up tweet is just a fucking camera video from his phone of his ship just lasering all of the country.
Oh.
And
everyone's like, oh, he did it.
Oh.
No, Sneaky, Twitter would be like, OMG, the mad lad did it.
At Jack, how is this acceptable? Jack responds, Gilgamesh has told us that he has purchased all of Twitter.
Gilgamesh has purchased Twitter and my soul.
Actually, he wouldn't have to purchase it. Theoretically, he would just have the deed. Because that would be considered a modern world treasure.
He has the prototype to everything, I thought it was.
He has
the first of everything.
He has No, that just means, guys, that means he signs up for Twitter and he already has a blue check mark.
Yeah.
He owns MySpace.
MySpace, yeah.
This website is appropriately titled, for it is mine!
Okay, here's the question, though. Does he accept or deny Tom's friend request?
He doesn't have friends, for he is a king and is above such things.
Every time anyone tries to friend him, he just goes, "I am the king," and says no.
But he doesn't block anyone, because of course everyone needs to hear what he has to say.
Yeah.
Oh my god, he would be that guy who has a Tumblr.
Ask Gilgamesh-real.
Why are you such a punk bitch? I have destroyed your house.
There is a missile inbound for your house. Wait, what? Yes, pretty much. As you can notice, we are far more interested in shit posting about Gilgamesh and the internet than this fucking story. Basically,
it's because Gilgamesh is Gilgamesh is not a shit poster. Gilgamesh is an excellent target for shit posts.
Gilgamesh is a Bane poster that actually carries out what he says. But yeah, so anyway, Medea shows up, she frees Taylor, she heals Taylor, she refreshes Taylor with refreshment spells, and then she disappears with Taylor, and she's like, yeah, I'm gonna teach this girl stuff because she freed me or something. This is gonna be super fun.
There's no line break.
And then it just segs.
Segue.
Straight into just an author's note. Just no line break, no color text change, no bolding. Just straight into an author's note.
Yep, that's okay. To any Type Moon fans, feel free to tell me if I got anything wrong.
That is a mistake.
About 80 to 90% of what you've written.
All of it. Everything you have written is wrong.
The only thing he got right so far is that it's Medea and that he got the name right. That's it.
Anyway, so I'll bring up Notepad. And we'll type the question out here so people know. Question. How much of a series should you keep intact when writing a fanfic?
Also, you're going to want to bump up that font size.
I don't know how to do that on Notepad. Let me,
I believe you just go to Format or Edit, and it should let you increase font size from there.
Okay, let me just,
It's been a minute since I've had to change font size in my commentate.
Yes, here we go. Let's go with 48. That's good, right?
Yeah, that should do. That is very much legible at full screen.
Can you imagine if Trump actually went through with some of the shit he said on Twitter? I mean, we'd be living in a world
would be better and
I
worse.
don't know if our current state of affairs would be better or worse. I feel like it's a coin flip.
I feel like it is a coin flip as well. I think we were the opposite side of the coin, Max. I think this is there was a point in time where time diverged, is where Trump would say something. The first thing he said on Twitter when he became president, timelines diverged. From there on out, he did everything he said on Twitter, and the other timeline, this one, is where he didn't.
We'll never know which side has it better.
We'll never know. Until the other side invents the time machine to come and laugh at us. about how advanced their society has become.
Well, they'll either come to laugh at us because everything went well, or they'll come be like, "Don't let him do X thing. We had to forcibly make a time machine just to warn you."
It's missing the unregistered Hypercam 2. The look is incomplete. Fuck you, Pedro.
Alright, C8. Okay.
Anyway, so that is the question. How much of a series should you keep intact when writing a fanfic? And this is something I actually debate pretty often with like people like Orpheus and whatnot.
It typically depends.
Yeah, it really depends on both what the purpose of the story is going to be. Hell, it even depends on whether it's a crossover or not. But I said there's a difference between taking a choice cut of meat from a slaughtered animal and literally just putting the whole body into a giant blender and making pink sludge. Yes.
And with that pleasant metaphor,
fanfics
go eat dinner.
Are fanfics. They are fan-based fiction of a series. Does that mean you should always 100% keep all the lore absolutely completely? Maybe. Depending on how your story is set up. If you're trying to do a story where it's like, what if Harry had a friend before Hogwarts? A friend that Dudley couldn't scare away. A friend he could ask questions from, or whatever, blah blah blah. There's no reason for anything else in Harry Potter to be an alternative universe. Just, this is a guy that Harry can write to, be like, kid was dick to me, what do I do? How do I make more friends? And then the guy gives sage advice to Harry. Shit like that.
Yep.
Literally, it's just another character development prior, and it changes how Harry
exactly.
Reacts.
And there's no reason to get rid of anything else of Harry Potter, because the point of the story is, what if Harry had a friend before Hogwarts? There's no reason to touch any other part of the story. Obviously, yes, that means you're probably going to hit stations of canon here and there. Friend, what do I do? My groundsmaster has just stolen an illegal pet, and I'm not sure how to handle this now that I know. And the guy goes, oh, well, while the groundsmaster might be your friend, Harry, you should really tell the headmaster, because it is his job to run the school. And so instead of trying to sneak out and try and covertly transport the dragon away, they just go to Dumbledore, and Dumbledore's like, oh yes, well, I'll just contact the Dragon Reserve and they'll come and pick it up.
And every problem was solved.
Basically. But say you're doing a story like, for example, D times D, Issei, one day he is attacked by some sort of yokai or some shit, awakens his gear early, and manages to run away or fire blast or some shit, where then he's like, oh shit, I can do magic with this thing, and then he starts trying to cast magic from all the video games he plays, because he plays lots of video games. That's a canon thing. And so instead of becoming a devil or whatever, he just goes off and casts magic and shit and becomes a mage, basically.
And then from there, you have a whole bunch of divergences, because railroaded canon cannot happen unless you fuck up massively.
Yeah, and on top of that, that's the sort of story where you would be taking choice cuts from canon and implementing them, and sometimes just ignoring the rest. Like the whole breast power thing.
You would do that and go, thank God I can just
Thank God I can just ignore
that.
I don't ever need to even like remotely think about putting that in my story. You know, that's the sort of situation where you can just, not have that in. Doesn't need to be there. Doesn't add anything. It was a bad choice in the original work. And, now that
he says
you're
boosting gear actually had a limit to it, and then the author decided, yeah, I can't have this because then I can't do the shonen crap. So he just got rid of it without saying anything.
Oh, did he now? The limit thing. Oh, okay.
Yeah, it was like 6 boosts or something, and Issei would die no matter if he was a devil.
Interesting.
It was below 7, I know that.
That is certainly a hot.
That's the thing, I guess.
And I only know that because of fanfiction.
Or there is one story called what's the one I'm currently reading now? What If I Do Want to Become a Harem Protagonist, I believe it's called. Where the divergence is that during break before the new school year starts, where Issei goes to Kuo Academy, he goes to Amsterdam with the intent of smoking weed, drinking alcohol, and losing his virginity. And that he's, quote, saved up all of his life savings for this moment to get there and do this because he heard in Amsterdam that can happen. And ends up meeting a succubus, learning about lust energy or some shit like that. And then the whole story just rolls from there, or completely, it goes in a completely original direction. Very cool, very neat. It's actually really, really well written story. Pretty much sidesteps a majority of the canon bullshit and really fleshes out its own world. And that's definitely a choice where the author decided to cut out a lot of the undefined and really nonsensical parts of D times D and decided to implement the general world idea and build off that in his own original direction.
Generally, there's 3 different ways you can go about it. There's the one change, there's several changes based off of your idea, right. And then there's that idea where you just say fuck.
Sorry, I was just gonna say, Sneaky, is that story dead?
Oh no, it's actively updating.
Oh, can you throw a link to it? Because that actually sounds interesting.
Yeah, I'll drop a link after the
Sorry, please continue.
Podcast is over. But you have to make sure that when you're taking these, I like the butcher analog because it does make sense. When you're cutting meat from a pig, it's still going to be pork at the end of the day. It's still going to be meat from a pig. You're still going to be able to recognize it as, this is pig meat. And when you cut meat from a cow, you're still going to be able to recognize it as, this is beef. The birds, it gets a little bit harder because pretty much all birds look the same on the inside. But if you're an expert of meat, you'll easily be able to tell the difference between turkey and chicken and duck very easily. If you know what to look for, it's very easy to tell the difference between them all in terms of leanness, taste, texture, its look, etc.
Yeah, like just as someone who's been to steakhouses and really enjoys trying different kinds of meat, I hate lamb. Lamb is disgusting, and I can
love lamb. Lamb is, if properly cooked, probably some of the most delicious shit I've had.
it just makes, I'm just like, something about the texture and the flavor. I'm just like, nah, I'll pass.
I get that. Lamb is very fatty. It's very fatty. It's a very fatty meat. And it definitely is not a everyone's gonna love it sort of thing. But the whole point, the reason why I brought that up is, at the end of the day, no matter what you cut from the story, people should still be able to go and look at your story and be like, oh yeah, this is a D times D story. Oh yeah, this is a Worm story. Oh yeah, this is obviously a Naruto story. If you sit there and write a modern, no chakra Naruto AU where everyone's part of the mob running a undercover drug lab coffee shop where Sasuke is a loose cannon cop.
Okay, but I actually wouldn't hate them all running an underground. Like, I wouldn't mind a coffee shop AU if it was in fact just a drug front.
What's my opinion on Duck? It's dry. It dries very easily. It's a little bit too lean. As far as birds go, I definitely rate it like a maybe a 6 out of 10.
You say, you want like a meat that's actually pretty good? I really liked venison. Venison was great.
Deer is pretty tasty, yeah. Deer is pretty tasty. Especially when it's wild venison, because it's got a nice molding of fat and muscle in it.
Yes.
But unfortunately, venison's also a very choice cut sort of animal. You can't get too much off a good deer. I mean, obviously the deer is huge. You'll get quite a lot off of it, but comparatively to say a pork or a cow, in terms of what you can use, it's going to be significantly less. And sort of like duck, very little of the duck is actually edible. But at the end of the day, no matter what kind of cut you choose, you should still be able to recognize where it came from. We get a lot of these pink sludge stories. These questionable meat stories. Where like, is that hoof in my patty? Is that some feathers? What the fuck is this? It's a lot of the stories we see on this podcast, because the authors are just like, yeah, I'm just gonna write my idea, but also change a bunch of shit and not write a bunch of other shit and change all the characters and then also give them different outfits, and I'll change how magic works, and I'll change what all their powers are, and I'll change I'll fast forward the time it takes place in by like 50 years, so it's like the year 2022, and they all have iPods and tablets and stuff, and it's just like, what kind of story is this? And tier list go. I don't know, man. Turkey's pretty good. Personally, I like chicken more than turkey. A good well-made chicken.
I have my issue with turkey is much like duck. It can be very dry.
It dries very fast. Yes. It's a very meaty bird, but unfortunately, it is very. I'll give it a 7 out of 10 on the bird scale. You'll get a lot of meat off of it. It can be tasty, but it's definitely not the sort of bird that you go, yeah, I can eat this every single day. Chicken, on the other hand,
you can do a lot with chicken.
I can eat chicken every day. Is veal good?
I eat chicken every day.
Yeah, veal's good. Veal is
rabbit's kind of weird. If it's prepared well, rabbit's great.
Rabbit stew is pretty good, yeah.
let me say, ironically, Stu is kind of like the one you need the most, because the issue with Rabbit, like, Rabbit's really chewy.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the same can be said for venison, depending on the cut. Most of the cut of a deer is going to be fairly chewy. That goes for most game in general. Duck as well is included in that, because they are not. They're not purpose bred like cow, pig, and chicken are, but they're also very flighty animals. So they're going to be a lot more, stringy in terms of the meat. What would you put in cup noodle to make it better? An egg. 100%, man, just crack an egg into it. Right as it finishes, just crack an egg straight into it.
Oh, here's the thing. Another thing, add a little bit of extra water. Like get done with it and add just a little bit of extra water to try to counteract some of that fucking sodium you're about to suck down, dude.
But no, as far as when it comes to butchering a story, ignoring things can make sense sometimes. Ignoring things don't make sense sometimes. If you're writing a Harry Potter story, Voldemort trying to kill Harry Potter, kind of a mainstay of every single year at Harry Potter. And you just being like, yeah, Voldemort's actually dead in this story. Also, Harry's not famous. Like, okay, well, this could be an interesting story, but not really.
It could be interesting with the right stuff, but it's very...
But you probably don't have the right stuff, let's be honest, author.
Yes. Yeah. But because the problems there come from the fact that Harry as a character is fairly bland. He is the duck of the meat tier list. He's fairly bland and needs quite a lot to be worth it on his own.
He's too reactionary.
Not
basically.
A boiled egg, just egg it straight in. Yeah, just crack that egg open, drop it straight into the cup. The important part of the fact is that you just take the cup out. It is the hottest the water is. Because if you do it too late, the egg won't properly cook, and then you can set yourself up for being like, you can get yourself sick from that. But if you do it properly and then quickly scramble the egg as it's in the super hot water, it'll mix the egg into it and give it a nice taste. Sort of like a egg drop soup, except it's cup ramen and an egg. But yeah, the problem is if you cut out the conflict in the form of Lord Voldemort, and you cut out the conflict in the form of Harry being considered a hero, a lot of the story pretty much loses momentum, because a lot of the conflict in Harry Potter is driven by Lord Voldemort being still alive and doing evil things.
And Harry reacting to him.
Yeah. He is unfortunately
and the general
very
populace's reaction or lack thereof, as is
right.
usually the case.
And then from there, J.K. Rowling does branch off from Voldemort and occasionally goes into a conflict generated due to Harry's fame. Which, on its own, if Voldemort's dead, Harry's still famous. It's still not that great of a story.
Here's the thing, right? You can make him famous for being the boy who somehow killed Voldemort.
Yeah, the problem is Harry Potter is, while also a bland character, he's a character that grew up as an abused child in an unloved household, and then he's told he's famous. And so he just generally doesn't know what to do with that, doesn't know how to handle it. If it was some sort of thing where it's a very shy person, that they grew up fine, they grew up normal childhood, they grew up fine. They grew up, and then maybe they're 16 or something, They're very introverted and shy, but one day some guy comes in with a bomb strapped to him, and he's threatening to blow up this bank that everyone's in, and the kid, like, grabs this fucking cup of pens and just chucks it at his head, and the guy knocks out and falls to the ground, and everyone's hailing him as a hero. That could generate conflict because this is a kid with now an established personality who reacts to the world in a specific way, who doesn't know how to handle this new change in how his life operates. Harry, on the other hand, goes from 0 to 100, and his reaction to that is to just be as passive as possible.
He basically shuts it down and just goes with the flow.
You have to crack the egg. Don't leave the egg inside the shell. Crack the egg open. You want the yolk touching the water. The egg cook with the noodle. Yes, egg will cook with noodle. Also protein. You fucking cup egg eater. Or cup noodle eater. What are you saying, Atin? Who?
Nope, forgot what I was gonna say.
Cool. But it is a unfortunate aspect of a lot of fandoms where the main character is more reactionary, and the reason why the main character is more reactionary is both to open him up to relation to a larger portion of audience, but also because it's far easier to have the villains be actionary to the hero, and have the hero react to the next villainous plot, than have the hero actively search them out. I mean, hell, even though they sort of tried to set that up in Kill la Kill, they still relied on the old villains do X, she responds. She does very little actiony proactiveness in terms of her own main character status.
I would say she spends a lot of time fucking about and then goes, they've done something I dislike, I will stop this.
Yeah. And the reason why that
is gets exploded by a whistle.
Yeah. It's very easy to write the hero reacting to what villain does next. It cuts down a majority of the details that you would need to explain to the audience that might not be really too interesting to the audience. Like, you wouldn't need to explain how the hero found their base. You wouldn't need to explain, why the hero's doing this instead of, why are they going around the countryside looking for secret bases instead of training every day. This way, they get to have the hero train every day or go on training montages, and then the villain shows up, and the hero's like, well, now that I've done my training montage, I will use my new move and beat you. And then the hero does that, and then they basically go back on a training montage until the next thing happens. That way, the author can hand-wave away why the hero is so much stronger now in X scenario, because it's like, well, they've been training this whole time. Look, I made all these small mini-chapters about them training with, this mentor of theirs.
The wise old man on the mountain.
A cater does it best. Is that some sort of fucking weeb shit? Avatar, yes, Avatar, yeah, pretty much. Yeah. To be clear, it's the first one, not Korra. Avatar.
Also, for what it's worth, the Realist Hero series, at least early on, did a pretty good job of making the hero the action, like the driving force, right? Yeah. What's he doing? He's figuring out how to solve a food crisis. What's he doing? He's maneuvering an enemy nation into screwing up.
Oh, are you talking about
Realist Hero Rebuilt the Kingdom?
Oh, okay. I thought you were talking about Demon Lord, in which basically the same thing happens.
I mean, yes, that did it too. It's just I happened to read Realist Hero recently, so.
Fair enough. Yep. Yeah, pretty much. The proactive can be used in some scenarios, especially when you have them doing things that aren't just pure combat. It really helps with the world building. Because, the more shonen series don't really need to world build outside of what's necessary for the current action that's happening. Like, notice how we never learned anything about Cloud until Cloud became relevant for something that was about to happen in terms of combat.
I'm sorry, what are you talking about?
Cloud? Village Hidden in Clouds and Naruto?
Yeah, okay, if you just say Cloud, you know what people are going to jump to? Final Fantasy.
Those people are wrong.
Kumo.
Thank you, Greg. But yeah, so, we only ever learn about, Earth?
We don't.
Was it Earth?
AWA.
Yeah.
We don't learn about AWA. We don't learn about Kusa. We barely learn about anything else.
Well, no, we only learn about them, Iwa, until, the Fourth Ninja War. That's when we finally learn, more about them besides the fact that they hate Naruto's dad. Because that was the only time they were relevant.
Pretty much. Because never was there an AWA ninja that was really worth. Like, the only ones that I think were mentioned before they actually showed up as a village were the Jinchuriki.
Pretty much, yeah. Again, that was only because they were relevant to the immediate combat that was about to happen.
Yeah, and even then, AWA barely got anything. They just got, hey, here's what they look like, here's what they specialize in, and go.
Yeah.
And it's pretty much the same with every other area.
But yeah, so, differences between themes, differences between what you're planning on doing on a story. I like to think my analogies work on a multi-plane level. Big brain. But I hope I answered your question. Hope that it elucidated some ideas and whatnot you might have had. But it is, in fact, 9 o'clock, and unfortunately, because my co-workers are unreliable little bastards, I will be working tomorrow instead of having the day off. So I will have to end it here. Bid all of you folks a fond farewell. With, of course, a reminder that at 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. on Friday, we will be back here doing it all again. We'll see you next time, because as always, there's always more, and it always gets worse.